Welcome to Tech Challenge Makers Conquer E-commerce. I'm Elise, your resident tech expert and author of the book Browser versus Buyer. I've worked with entrepreneurs for over 6 years, and I've helped hundreds of creatives overcome their technology fears. Gain clarity and direction in your business with Elise's E-commerce Elevator 6-month group coaching program. Join now at myscheduledbiz.com/elevator. The link is in the show notes. Today, we're going to be talking with Alex Tempest from Automation's Maverick. Alex helps busy, multi-passionate entrepreneurs solve their challenges by employing technology to do the things that don't spark joy. She's going to help you figure out how to get a day off every week while still growing income from your best-selling offers. She's an IT engineer with 12 years of corporate experience, leading teams of up to 70 people, as well as a transformational coach. A born problem solver, geek, and freedom seeker, Alex loves animals, travel, cooking, sailing, and partying. By the end of this episode, you'll understand how to keep new clients excited after they buy so that you can avoid returns, the technology that can help, and of course, walk away with one action step. Alex, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so glad to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about your business and your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. So my experience is, well, in IT, 12 years in corporate, and then I was a coach for 4.5 years. And I also had an online business that was a search engine for dog-friendly places that was alive for 2 years. And after all that, I decided I really love technology and wanted to come back to it, and decided to help service providers, coaches, and multi-passionate entrepreneurs, like people who are like, I want to do this and that and that and that at the same time. And there's a little bit of chaos there, and they have a ton of work. I help them have more time for self-care, or maybe another business that they want to start. So kind of bring the structure into the chaos, which I know you do that too for people, because you are very structure and task oriented. I do it a little differently. I take a look at what they are doing, and I have this ability to see, where they could do better, be it in gaining more clients or keeping the clients for a longer time, getting those loyal returning clients, or simply automating the stuff that doesn't really spark joy in us. So yeah, that's it.
We actually have quite a lot in common. This is part of the reason you're here. It's actually quite fun for me because most of the time, the guests that I have on, we don't necessarily have a lot in common, but we are both very tech geared. Like you said, maybe you have a slightly softer side than I do, but automation is one of my first loves. It's one of the first things I taught about, and it's something that I still continue to teach about as well. So that's why you're here, because I know that you're going to be able to share some awesome insights for the bizzers. So the real question today, though, is about reducing returns. So why should our listeners care about reducing returns? And more than that, isn't it kind of true that if someone wants to do a return, there's nothing you can do to stop it? Before we jump into the rest of this episode, please share this podcast with other business owners that it can help. Also, be sure to stick with me to the end of the episode to learn your challenge for today and implement what you learned.
I think there's a lot to do. I mean, imagine a situation in which you bought, let's say, a dress and it doesn't fit. And so is the only thing that you can do return it? Not really, because you can just give it to somebody else, like in your family or a friend. So we can actually do something to stop people from returning even before they buy, like get them into the mindset of maybe saying, I am not going to return anything to these guys because they are too awesome. So that's one way of doing it. And I can give you an example of a company. They are called Patch Plants here in the UK. And so I am a plant killer. I am an absolute plant killer. Every plant, including, the cacti, whatever, they just die on me. And so I was looking for a plant. I said, I want to have one plant. I could really devote myself to it, and just keep it alive. So I had a little bit of Google search, and I found this company, Patch. And what they do, I think their marketing is freaking top notch. And I don't usually recommend companies. I have recommended that company to so many people. They're getting new clients. I would never return to them, and they're getting recommendations left and right. So basically, they don't give you the name of the plant like ficus. but each of their plants has a name. So I bought Helena, and her name is still Helena. And I think it's a Cicada Revoluta. That would never hit me. That would never hit home with me, right? But I knew that they know me. And this is one of the things. I knew that they are made for people who are going to name their plants. I mean, I name my household appliances, my Roomba has a name, the workout machine and everything has a name, right? So I bought her, and then I knew already that these are the guys that get me. But another thing that they did, and I could have returned her because she turned out smaller than I thought, but I didn't, because they gave me so much additional information on how to take care of her, and they made me feel like I belong. And I believe this is what people really want. They want to feel understood, and they want to feel like they belong.
It almost sounds like this company made it so that you were adopting her. It was less of a purchase and more of an adoption almost. I mean, they gave her a name. I mean, it's like when you go to like Build-A-Bear somewhere and you build your stuffed animal, right? And then you give them a name, you get a birth certificate and like all of this stuff. That makes it so you're adopting them instead of just buying it. So, I mean, I think psychologically that's kind of brilliant. Anyways, continue. Sorry.
Absolutely. That's an interesting point. Adopting wouldn't probably, like, the word wouldn't speak to me, because that just puts so much responsibility on you. I'm like, oh my God, what if she dies? Don't do that to me, guys. But I wanted to talk about one specific thing that she did, and this is what you guys can do too, was giving me, not only on the website where I bought her from, but also additionally into the box and also in emails, a short course on how to take care of Helena. And it was spread out through, I think, 5 days. And even though, I mean, I kill plants, I don't care that much. I actually watched it. I watched it. So what they did there was just short videos, I think like 2 or 3 minute videos by their plant doctor. And they were telling me, how to check, for instance, whether she has too much or not enough water, because that's the easiest way. And that's my way of killing plants. So they kind of devoted a lot of time into that. But they had to know about it. They had to know that people have this kind of issue, right? So it's also about collecting feedback. So I'm just dropping a couple of things here that we're going to be talking more about it. So they needed to know that their person is the kind of person who's going to watch the video, who appreciates the work that they put into the marketing, who needs drip-fed content, which is, you can easily do that, post-purchase, depending on the product that they buy. You can always drip some content to your audience. And another thing that they did that's not actually tech related, but I think it was a big thing, was they paired up with another company and they gave me a coupon for there. So that was actually Naked Wines, and I'm pointing here because I still have the carton of wines under my table here. I actually used that coupon. And they could have sent it to me via email. So this is what you can also do post-purchase. And you can even send it to your people, an additional coupon from a different company or from yourself, from your own company, immediately after they purchase, so that they are already excited before they get the thing. So, how would you return anything if you're already excited, if you're getting all that, I'm not going to say information, but kind of love, love and attention. And another thing they did was they had a plant doctor. Anytime I can go on chat and ask a question, and I understand, answering questions can take a lot of time, but you don't have to have a chat that's, 24/7. People can just simply post a question in there and know that they are going to get the answer about the product. Like, that gave me so much confidence. And you can then answer the questions via email. So it doesn't have to be a complicated setup with the chat. It doesn't have to involve AI, it can just be a simple box with a photo of the person who's going to be replying. And yeah, that's what they did.
So, I mean, it really does come down to making sure that they're excited, because when you're really excited about something, I actually think there's this bag company, they no longer exist. This is from years and years ago. There was this bag that I really, really wanted. And I'm a tech nerd, right? So it was one of those ones where you have the bag and then there's like the cover that goes on the outside, so you can change the outside cover. I don't know if you've ever seen these. I was so excited to get this bag. And when it came, it didn't look exactly how I wanted it, but I kept it anyways. I still have it in my closet. I've never used it, not once, but because I was so excited about how cool it was that I could change out the outside cover, I never sent it back. So I think it is a really interesting perspective of, if you can get your people so excited about what you're offering, then you will eliminate at least some of your returns. It can really help reduce that for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's the excitement part. And there's also knowing who is buying. You can segment your audience in your email provider and know that this type of person is going to like this type of product. Like, for instance, Patch sends me emails now, but they know I am a plant killer, So you want to mark that in your system, and so that you can, they're never going to send me a plant that I will kill in a week. And I appreciate that. Like, we have a mutual understanding. Okay, you're a plant killer, and that's okay. We've got you taken care of.
Yeah, exactly. You got to make it feel like they're watching out for you, for what you can do and what you want. Okay, so you kind of have already answered this next question. And that is, what technology can help you keep your customers happy so that you have fewer returns? But I'm gonna let you go ahead and kind of give your summary of what things you would recommend people to do to use tech to make this happen.
I actually have one other idea that people can implement quasi simply, I think. So that's going to be regarding feedback. So basically, if you want to reduce returns, they're not necessarily, a bad thing, but if they happen too much, you're losing profit after you've made it. You may have already spent the money, invested them, whatever, and then you're spending the money on shipping, and you may not get the return customer. So I am of the opinion that actually, if you make returns as easy as possible for people, they're going to appreciate that for you, because it means you have nothing to hide, right? And that you're going to be listening to them. So to sum up what I've already said, you can have a chat box or an easy way for people to ask questions. So just make sure when they are buying, make sure, hey, have a question. This is what's going to be always available for you, because people want to know. They want to know the process. So after they buy as well, you want to send them information. Like, I have two examples actually here. One of them is a big shipping company in Poland, and they just, we have our kind of Polish Amazon, which is amazing. And they have this company that ships the products, and it comes to a box. And the emails that they send are freaking awesome. They make me excited about the package. These guys don't know what's in the package. They just deliver it. But they say, your package is coming to you, and then sometimes send a video for a good day, with the Rick Roll song or whatever. They're just like, yeah, hey, this is the morning, your package is here and there. So people want to know. So keep them informed about the process. This is one way to keep them excited. Another thing is, okay, but we talked about trust just before you press record, right? Building that trust is what's going to happen after. So even if your process, of returns or just the chatbot is not functioning like 24/7, it's okay if people know what to expect. Let them know it's going to be there. You can email me. And then audience segmentation, knowing who is buying what. You're probably guys doing it anyway. Maybe if you're starting, you're not really doing it. I think it's really important to know your audience, because then, you can sell more, because you're going to know the people who are buying, and then you're not going to be recommending the kind of products that they might return to people who are not suited for that. So it's super important to have that audience segmentations, gather that information about them. And the way they did it at Patch, I think, is they knew that I bought Helena, so they already assumed that I was the plant killer. I think I didn't have to tell them. But another thing you can do, I think they had that, is have a quiz. Yeah. There's many tools and from the quiz, you can get the answers and segment your audience very, very nicely before they purchase. So again, we're talking about stuff that you do before their purchase to decrease the amount of returns. It starts a little earlier.
You can also do it when they're making a purchase. So we actually had 2 previous episodes where we talked about this, different types of tech to build customer retention. And yeah, I know for my own personal brand, I ask, are you an e-commerce, or are you a coach or a service-based provider? Because I have 2 segments. And so knowing that is going to tell me which thing I'm going to talk to them about. And so, yeah, it can be as simple as just asking. It can be a little checkbox. It can be based upon what they bought in the past. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to make it so you know who your people are.
Yeah. And the way to do it, like technically, you can just add tags or invisible tags to a product, and you see what tags are attached. So for instance, a woman that has a specific body shape, like small here and bigger down there, it's a problem to get clothes for this kind of body shape. And if it's not really, they're not really made for you and you buy them anyway, you may need to return them, yes, because they don't fit. But if you tag your products and then you tag your audience with the tags that they use to buy, you can be automatically creating many segments of your audience, like whole personas. And the last thing that I wanted to say, that last third example of is, of a company that does this well, I think, is collecting the feedback. Collecting the feedback can be, how many people leave reviews, right? It can be a pain. You can be complaining that not enough people leave you the feedback, so you're not really sure what you're doing well, what you're good at, what you're not good at, what people appreciate, right? I say make it easy for them. So like you said, you have two segments. You have one question. Are you an e-commerce or are you a YouTuber, right? The way you can do that is from within your email service provider, ask one question and just have two buttons. It's quite easy to see. That will segment the audience. And then the next thing you can do, if somebody has pressed the button because they gave you feedback, you can then maybe the next day or at the same time, depending on how you want to do it, then you can send them to a bigger survey. And Booking does this really well, booking.com. They ask you, did you like this trip? No, yes, whatever. You click, and then you have a chance, like very, lightheartedly, they ask you, oh, would you like to leave a little bit of a bigger review? And I often do it, and then the more of the survey you fill, the more they show to you, but you can stop at any point. And I think this is important for people because nobody wants to fill out like a 5-minute survey. But if you like the process, you make it really simple. Again, using the same tools that you can use for making a quiz. You can just have, on a scale of 1 to 5, this, whatever. It's so easy for people to feel. So, asking those questions, like yes and no, or judging something on a scale of 1 to 5, you're going to get much more information than just asking like open-ended questions, which should always be an option. But I think this is a fantastic way of getting, feedback and where you can improve. And of course, reason for getting the refund, that's obviously important. Yeah. Sorry, I just keep talking.
No, it's great. The more information we can give, the more ideas they can have. I think that's excellent. So this is my favorite question of the whole podcast episode every single time. And that is, what is one thing that every listener should implement today to help them keep their customers happy and reduce returns?
I think I would say the audience segmentation, because it's fairly easy to implement for you guys. If you don't have that, you're going to be missing out a lot on that. And then when you implement it, you start once, you learn how to do it once, or you get somebody to do it once, and then it's easier to get more and more information and keep learning about this audience. And then you can use it in so many ways to find out what it is that people want. They can even give you ideas for new products, right? Yeah. So
100%. And like you said, it's something that you probably already have access to. So whatever email provider you're in, you can easily set this up. It doesn't matter what provider you're using. If you've used a quiz thing at any time, you can set up a quiz relatively easily as well. So you probably already have access to this. This does not have to be a new tech thing that you've got to learn how to do either. It's probably already present, whatever you have, which is what's kind of amazing about it. Okay. Did you have anything else that you wanted to share with the visitors today?
I think that's it. I don't like to give too much information because then, we get lost in it. But then another simple thing that you can do without implementing any tech is the other thing that we spoke about is just letting them know, look through your emails as a person, with a fresh mind and see if they are getting all the information. If I'm answering the FAQ, not in the FAQ section, but actually in the email, because a lot of times people don't go into FAQ, then they may return the thing that they were buying. So you want to, again, collect those and answer them in the email, let them know where their package is, etc. That should be fairly easy to to set up.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for joining me on Tech Challenge Makers Conquer E-commerce. If our listeners want to know more, I know that you've got an opt-in for them, and can you just tell them about the best place to connect with you?
I think the best place right now is Facebook. So I think we're going to have a link to my Facebook profile. You just follow me on my private profile. The thing that I'm doing right now, I'm starting a membership, which is called Tech Club. And this is for entrepreneurs who want to still have the time to set up their own tech. They want to set up their own tech, but they get stuck at a point, before it gets too awesome. It takes you maybe like 16 hours to watch something on YouTube, then set it up. Finally, you're like, woohoo. If you're the kind of person, we're going to be learning just in an interactive manner. So it's going to be just workshops where we get stuff done. So it's not actually learning like from YouTube. We meet, I show you how to do things. You guys should do the things. It's a membership. And then after the 60 minutes or 90 minutes, you get the next piece of your technology set up, and it's going to be always focused towards either saving your time or increasing your profits from your current offers. If you're interested in learning more about it when it's live, there's going to be a link to join the waitlist for Tech Club. It's going to be live in February, and I invite you to join that.
Okay, awesome. So guys, connect with Alex on Facebook. Go check out the information about getting on the waitlist for Tech Club. And that is all we have for you today. Thank you again so much for joining me today, Alex.
Thank you so much. This was fun.
Want more help with your e-commerce brand? Subscribe to Tech Challenge Makers Conquer E-commerce on your favorite podcast platform so that you don't miss any of the episodes that are released every week to help you grow your e-commerce shop. Also, please leave us a review so that we can help even more e-commerce shop owners. Thanks for listening. See you next week right here on Tech Challenge Makers Conquer E-commerce.